Now, turning back to business reopening in California, as you're aware, the state continues to move forward with the phased reopening. Now the state has issued guidance for additional industries, and as of today, California state is officially on phase 3 of their reopening. But with that, more business reopenings also means new industry-specific guidance. Note that even though this guidance has been issued, in some way, shape, or form, they all incorporate certain prevention practices, which include physical distancing, use of face coverings by both employees and customers, sanitation, such as frequent hand washing and regular cleaning and disinfecting, and training employees on COVID-19 related health issues and best practices. So for which industries has guidance been issued now? New guidance for reopening businesses include campgrounds, RV parks and outdoor recreation, family entertainment centers which include bowling alleys, arcades and movie theaters, fitness facilities like gyms, hotels which are now open for tourists and leisure guests, museums, galleries, zoos and aquariums, and my absolute favorite, restaurants, bars and wineries. So what do we recommend? If you're planning on reopening and fall within one of these industries, you must review the state guidelines. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Anthony to briefly discuss some of the particulars of the guidelines that were issued by the state.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. And it's important for your business to look at your particular industry guidelines. And again, this is on the state level. There's also going to be local requirements as well. And we're going to talk about some of those here in a bit too. But it's a good place to start on the state level and then dive down into the local issues. And so we've got that issue out there. And then I actually went line by line. Well, it was pretty quick, but I downloaded the new guidance that is effective today for the restaurant, bars, and wineries from the state website. The handout that we have links to all of these too. You can go and download these. But this document came out June 5th. It's effective today, and it's for restaurants, bars, and wineries. And it's pretty similar to what we had back on May 12th for the dine-in restaurants, that guidance. Some small changes, but not a lot. But it's important to take a look at it. And if you're a restaurant and you've been operating under the dine-in regulations, it's important to take a look at the new guidelines that are effective today as well too. Make sure you're complying with, I would argue, both to the extent. But like I said, they're pretty much similar. Some language changed, but it is a little vague. And I see a question coming in too right now about it. There's a lot of confusion about the terms guidance and recommend and mandatory and where that is. And it's a good question. And this guidance that we're getting from the state is guidance. Sometimes they do use this mandatory, you need to have it. And then on the city level, I was just reading about the city level though, for LA City, for example, or LA County. If you're, well, and it was in terms of going to this outdoor dining and using the sidewalks and parking spaces in San Francisco. They're doing it here in LA. They're doing it as well. You can apply for these permits. It's supposed to be pretty easy to apply for the permits. We have links for those, how to do that in the handout as well. And if you don't do that properly, I saw it where they're going to fine restaurants if you haven't permitted the open dining area, outside dining area properly. But otherwise, I'm not sure what the enforcement mechanism is on this. I think it depends on the circumstances. If the employer's not following the guidelines at all and just kind of thumbing their nose at it, they're probably going to come in and use those to shut you down. But potentially could there be penalties? There could be fines. I could potentially see that, but it's a little vague. I agree with you, and it's kind of hard to understand where that is right now.